Greetings, Lucky Legends. Welcome to the dojo. My name's Lucky, this is Lucky Lad TV. I'm your host of this video, and it is time for our Week 1 playoffs battle against the Shiny Weavile, aka Jose, aka the Orlando Magikarps. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this was a very unpleasant battle. It very much did not go in my favor, but I still want to explain to you guys why and how I made the plays that I made, and how things just sort of went for the battle. But I open up with Scolipede. Jose opens up with his Lopunny. I open up with Scolipede because we match up really well against Lopunny, which is what I kind of figured he would open up with, because Lopunny cannot one-shot us, and after Swords Dance, we one-shot it with Poison Jab. And we have Protect to avoid the fake-out damage. So I was really worried about a substitute, so I actually didn't go for Protect, because if Lopunny got up a substitute, I would be extremely worried. So right here, I go for the Swords Dance. Now, here's why. Why Swords Dance? I figured that he was going to switch out, fearing, well, just how strong Scolipede is. Also, Return, I do not believe killed us at that range. If it does, I believe it was a roll, but I think it was in our favor. And we also outsped it, so, you know, it kind of made sense. But now we're at +2/+2, and we have Earthquake for this Jirachi, which we're going to go for right here. I figured he had a Shuka Berry because this is Jose and he loves his berries. We get Psychic, and we go down. But that's fine. At this point, I can just go out into Zeus. I want to paralyze something. I don't know what Jose is going to want to go out into. But we go for the Thunder Wave, and we do get the para on the Jirachi as he goes for U-turn. Does very little as Snickers comes out. Now, what was happening here? So, I knew that I would live any hit from Sneasel. I knew that I would live any hit from Sneasel, which is why I did not go for Thunder Wave, because my Zeus has Superpower. So, I figured I would take the Icicle Crash, I know that I will live, and I know that he's going to run Life Orb, because running Focus Sash on this thing is kind of dumb, just because it loses so much power. So I knew that he would be running Life Orb, or at least Expert Belt, something like that, something to boost its strength. So I knew that we were guaranteed to live with that Yachi Berry, and Superpower does like 200% to Snickers. Even if it's a Violate, I think it's a one-hit KO, but again, you really want a damage-boosting item on a Pokemon like Sneasel, because it's really fast, and it hits pretty hard, but if you give it a damage-boosting item, it hits a lot harder. So we're about to unleash a Superpower onto Snickers. Or not. That is where things kind of go to shit, because we get flinched on the Icicle Crash. I do not know what Icicle Crash's chance to flinch is, but I don't think it's that high. So we get flinched right there, which means that Zeus is pretty much useless. So I just have to let it go down. It literally can't do anything to help me anymore. So we take the Ice Shard and go down. We see the Life Orb recoil. And here we just go out into Normal. Now, why Normal? Normal has Fake Out pressure, and it's just able... I want to get off some chip damage on something. Normal also does extremely little in this matchup as well. I was expecting... Jose brought a lot of Mons that I wasn't really expecting. He brought the Florges, and he brought the Alomomola. I wasn't really expecting either of those, especially the Alomomola, which becomes a really big issue. But right here, we're able to get a free fake out off. and do some damage to Kanye. We see that it is Rocky Helmet, so I want to get rid of that as quickly as possible. We go for the knockoff as Kanye goes for Toxic. We are now Toxic, which means we are on a timer. There's nothing we can do about that. So I go for Return. It does okay damage, but now we see that this thing is Wish Toxic, which means it is basically the equivalent of Cancer. So we just have to switch out, try and figure out something. The reason I went out into Hamhawk is because I wanted to get up some hazards. He switches his Jirachi out because he knows that he can't stay in. And I go for Earthquake. I thought he would sack off his Jirachi because it is paralyzed, so I didn't really think it would do much for him in this match. However, we later find out that it is in fact a... What kind of Jirachi is it? It is a utility Jirachi. It has like Stealth Rock and moves like that. So we went for the Earthquake, we missed. We go for the Stealth Rock this time as Lola comes in. We go for the Protect on the Baton Pass. So here's where things get interesting. I have no more switch-ins to Kanye because Scald burns. So I don't remember exactly what I did here. All I know is that Hamhog helps a lot in this matchup. It does really well against Zapdos. It does really well against Jirachi. And it does pretty well against the Sneasel if it does not have Low Kick. So Kanye comes out, takes Stealth Rock damage. We switch out into Mew. I was kind of hoping that he would burn me so that we could at least pass the burn on to Kanye and start whittling it down a little bit. But then we see that that doesn't really help. As we'll see later, this thing has aromatherapy, so getting that burn is pretty much useless. So right here, we go for Heal Bell of our own, but we're basically just swapping out Heal Bells. We burn the Sierra. We are a defensive Mew, but like I just said, aromatherapy is a thing. So, what do we do now? Well, this is no longer paralyzed, so it's now an issue. An unparalyzed Jirachi, I knew at this point that he was not scarfed, and we are able to burn it, which does help. It mitigates the damage, but it does not mitigate the flinch factor. So we know that this thing is not scarfed. I wasn't exactly sure what item it was. I think it may have had leftovers, but I don't quite remember. As we're able to burn Snickers as well. And at this point, I'm actually looking like I'm in decent shape. It actually looks like I'm in decent shape. I would have to break through this disgusting core of Alomomola and Florges. Actually, Zapdos can... You can throw Zapdos in there too. Zapdos is pretty fucking annoying. But we take the knockoff just fine because we are physically defensive Mew. Physically defensive Mew takes a knockoff so well. As I'm pretty sure Jose is just going to let Snickers go down here or switch out for some reason back into Sierra. My guess is to get off another aromatherapy. I was expecting him to just keep doing damage and to let it sack and to let it die, which is why I switched. As right here I switch out into Nermal. Nermal does a lot of damage with physically, attacking moves against Florges because Florges has no physical bulk. But he decides to fire off a Moonblast to just take me out. So I go out into Hamhawk. What do we do now? Well, pretty much nothing. We go for Earthquake. It's not a 2-hit KO because of leftovers. It's a roll, but it's not a very reliable roll. I do a lot of damage to Kanye, but it's not enough because like I said, he has Wish Protect. I can't break through Wish Protect. It's too fat. As we get Toxic here, and basically at this point, I'm going to be subjected to Toxic Stall because he has Regenerator, he has Bulk, he has everything that he needs. So I go for Ice Shard here, just to do damage. It is our only Ice-type attack, I believe. I don't think I have Icicle Crash. But right here we switch out into Cujo. I was predicting the defog here, and I could get a free switch out into Cujo and go for the nasty plot because I knew that we would live any attack, or I can go for the flame charge. I forgot I had flame charge, so I really figured that I was going to lose this match just because I always lose to Jose. So I brought some heat. I just remembered that I brought flame charge because at +1 I outspeed his whole team. But we get hit by the discharge. It does a lot of damage. We don't get parried, but Zapdos dies from this range from Fire Blast. Fire Blast does a lot. Fire Blast, at this point in the match, we pretty much wipe out most of my opponent's team with the exception of Almamola. And Almamola doesn't appreciate Sludge Bomb. It is a 2-hit KO at the range that it's at. It is currently at 28.7%, but after a generator, it's at like 60. So at 60%, it is a 2-hit KO. I actually think it's a roll to be a 1-hit KO at that range. So I'm figuring Fire Blast the Doritos, it goes down. We have Protect on this thing for the Lopunny, so we can, protect off the Fake Out so we don't get hit by that, and then roast that thing with a Fire Blast. Jirachi goes down to Fire Blast. This thing goes down to Fire Blast. Basically, all we have to do is land our attacks on everything, and we're good. But we don't. We miss our Fire Blast and go down to a Discharge. And at this point, it was just completely absurd, so I forfeited because I had absolutely nothing to deal with, like, anything on his team. This is the way I don't like to lose. I don't like to lose to hacks. And I'm not saying that I would have won, because I probably would not have. Jose usually beats me. However, that is not the way to lose. The way that I lost this match was very, very disrespectful. And I just personally was not okay with it, so I forfeited. And yeah, that is our PBL. That is our PBL playoff battle. We are obviously out of the playoffs now. But I want to thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. It's very much greatly appreciated. But with that, I'm going to get a best luck out there. I will see you all soon. Goodbye.